Hey Jeff, thanks for joining me.
Hey, Steve, thanks for having me again.
Yeah, good to have you. Hey, today we're talking about retail, and the retail sector has been doing really well. But we are seeing some landlords confronting some retail bankruptcy, and it's kind of a mixed story here. One example here is Big Lots, which just BK'd, and that means that there's over 300 stores as part of that restructuring. A lot of them going to go dark at those locations. And, it really can kind of go one of two ways in retail. You can have a location that's really, kind of a sought after location. And that could be at a mall or in the suburbs or whatnot. But you also, some of these locations could kind of be some of those malls that aren't high traffic that are having challenges. And that's really an issue for a landlord. If you got a major tenant in a non-sought after location that goes dark. And we have seen, as retail kind of restructures in the post-COVID area, we're seeing some of these less well-positioned retailers with some fairly good-sized, space going dark. Just some of your thoughts in terms of this.
Look, I mean, we've had discussions about retail in the back. Is retail a dying industry? No, absolutely not. Is the idea of a mall a dying industry? Yeah, I mean, maybe the traditional sense of a mall, but I even think that that probably stays around and just gets, reorganized or, into something a little bit different. I think it'd be, in my mind, I've considered malls a place that really were meant to be, you know, more of like a community center, right? Like a place where people could go, shop, eat, and now I think they probably are going to transition where you get grocery stores, you get movie theaters, you get you get places that where you can gyms for that matter, pickleball courts, anything, places where people can go and socialize and do stuff that doesn't revolve strictly around buying goods. I think people are going to use them, as and buy services, and from that matter, it's a place, especially in places like Florida, where it's right now it's 90 degrees out, 100% humidity, and feels like it's 110. And most people don't want to be outside unless they're on the water. In this case, why not go somewhere that's big, cool, and a lot of people can socialize and have a lot of things to do?
Yeah, I think this is just kind of one of those stories where it just amplifies trends, right? Like
Right.
if you're invested in one of these older, struggling malls that really needs to reposition and reimagine itself, and you lose a major tenant, you've got a problem that just became a bigger problem.
Yeah.
Uh, but you already had a problem. And if you're in, a location, say one of these newer, I wouldn't even call it malls, although I guess you call it a mall, but it's almost a mixed use site that has
Yeah.
retail and offices and maybe hotels and entertainment, and it's thriving. And you lose a tenant, it might be a good thing. I mean, you might immediately be like, oh well, that rent rate was lower than what I can get now. Um, and you don't have any problem replacing it with a higher paying tenant. And certainly, we're seeing that like the shift to the suburbs where
That's
people
right.
want to be able to buy and shop closer to the home if you lose one of those tenants. Um, Good chance you're replacing it with a tenant paying more money and a better lease structure. So it's really kind of one of those situations where if you right now in retail, if you're in the right place, this isn't necessarily even that bad of a thing. If you're in the
No.
wrong place, well, you already had a problem and it just got worse. But it kind of goes to you got to look deeper than the finances.
Yeah.
When you're investing.
I mean, from the side of investing, it makes it difficult, but the truth is bankruptcy is used for, really for, especially in the retail side, for one thing, it's trying to figure out how to get their accounts payable settled up, how to, restructure and reorganize and probably reduce space. I don't think they necessarily, and I mean reduce square footage. And I just a lot of these people want to reduce the inventory that they have. So that's what bankruptcy is good for. They come out on the back, on the back side of bankruptcy stronger than they were on the front side. So, and I think you mentioned Big Lots. Big Lots is it, it's kind of does, I'm sure that's probably what happens. They're going to close down some stores, but and people will lose their jobs, of course. But I think the reality is, Big Lots probably will be stronger on the backside of bankruptcy.
Yeah, and well, there's also a little bit of a shift here too, and like a lot of these kind of discount retailers are just getting killed online. But we've seen a lot of move to kind of the luxury retailers. I mean, when people, if somebody wants to, throw down like, over $1,000 in a purse, they probably want to touch and feel it. Um, so, I just,
You
this
mean
is
they don't
just
go to
opinions.
Amazon to buy Louis? Like,
No, apparently not. So, we've just seen the retail sector shift. And the good news for some of these older malls, even the ones that have like more low, more of the kind of low end stuff, more of the discount stuff that's really struggling, is a lot of it's on good land. So, there is the opportunity there to reposition, and there's a
mhm.
development play in there. So, I would say that insofar as, maybe this is a tipping point for some properties, that could be a real opportunity for an investor willing to go in, redevelop, and kind of reimagine what the property is. But that's a trend we've already been seeing play out for years. So I think this is just, one of those things that just kind of accelerates what we're already seeing going on.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, thanks for the insights. Hey, if you enjoyed the video, give us a thumbs up. Comment, let us know what we're missing here or getting wrong. And visit our website, selectfincap.com. Register for our free weekly real estate newsletter and also be able to get an look at exclusive commercial real estate investment opportunities with us. Thanks a lot, Jeff.
Thanks, Steve.